Hello, hello. Welcome everybody to the first live training for Repurpose. I am excited. I am excited to be on camera again. It's been a while. I've been hiding behind the code, I guess. So today I'm going to talk about how to take and create your own branded custom template. So when you output your videos out to YouTube, out to Facebook, or even you want to send them to your Dropbox and upload them to, Twitter or even Instagram. There's kind of hacks you can do around there. Wherever you want to send your content, your video, you can design your own branded templates. So I'm just going to take a few minutes and just kind of hang around for a few minutes. Obviously the replay is available, so I'm not going to keep the intro too long because I know people want the content, obviously. So I'm going to hang around and say, hey, Harry's in the house. How you doing, my friend? Good to see you. And Kim's in the house. Awesome, awesome. So I'm going to try to do this regularly, maybe every 2 weeks, maybe every week. Let's start with 2 weeks. And what I want you guys to do is just, if you have a question, drop it in the comments, and I'm going to go through the training. It's going to be really short, 5 to 7 minutes, show you how to do the templates, and then go through all the questions at the end. So that way anyone watching the replay later can actually just get the content they want and ask questions. Now, if I don't get to your question, I apologize, but what's going to happen is I'm going to go through the comments, maybe pick a few questions and answer them the following week, maybe make a whole topic around it. So, I appreciate the feedback, appreciate all the questions, and let's do this. So this video, we're using Repurpose, is actually going to go out to YouTube as well after we're done. Makes sense, right? You got to use your own products, right? So anyways, let's jump in. So just a quick recap. This tutorial is going to be nice, short, and sweet. It's going to show you how to create and design your own custom templates so that when you publish your videos onto YouTube, Facebook, or Dropbox, publish your podcasts, you can have them branded your way, any way you like. So let's jump right to it. So let's go share my screen here, get rid of this overlay really quick, and let's get started. So if you have trouble seeing anything, let me know in the comments. I'm trying to monitor the comments as well. And I think we're good to go. So I'm going to go do here. So you should see me in the corner. If I'm blocking anything, let me know. I'll move my camera out of the way, but my recommendation and the easiest way to get started is to use canva.com. You can use the free version, and what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and create our new design. Now you can create a brand new one with custom dimensions, or just for simplicity, use the YouTube thumbnail. So that's 1280 by 720. So that's really important, that you need to make sure your template, Repurpose, expects it to be 1280 by 720. So if you go ahead and pick the YouTube thumbnail, we're good to go. No guesswork there. So first, what are we going to do? We're going to just, I'm going to design something really quick, but I want to show you guys, just kind of what kind of, flexibility you have. So let's see. So before I get into it, so if you go to repurpose.com, repurpose.io/template, you can download all the files that I have right here. So I'm going to have some overlay files, some transparent files. I'll cover everything what it all means. But if you want to follow along, or you're watching this later, if you go to repurpose.io/template, then you can actually download the templates. I left it in the comments as well. So if you're watching this in the replay, so you're going to download a zip file. It's going to have a whole bunch of files in it, and there's an instructions file, etc. The most important one is this overlay file. This is new, actually. So if you've downloaded this before, just earlier today I've updated it to include these overlay. I'm going to give a shout out to Amy J. She actually gave me this idea to help make it easier by offering this transparent overlay, so that makes it easier for people who create templates who are not designers. All right, so take the zip file, unzip it. So the first thing I'm going to do is just upload. Under the upload section, I'm going to go upload my own image. And I'm going to upload from that template file that I gave you guys. I'm going to choose the one called Repurpose Transparent. There's two options. There's one called Play Button. It has that little play button in the corner. and there's one that just says overlay, which doesn't have the play button. They both serve the same purpose, kind of a personal preference if you like that play button or not. So I like it, so I'm gonna use that version there. So it's called Repurpose Transparent Overlay. Go ahead and open that. What it's doing is just sending it up to Canva. So this, what I'm going to show you right here, is probably the hardest part. It just gets easier from here. And I've used the word hard very loosely. It's not really hard. But it is a very important step. So when you want to drag this image here and drop it in, unfortunately Canva doesn't take the image as the right dimension. So it is scaled and it's adjusted. So the trick here, just to make sure everything lines up at the end, is to just drag it up to the top left-hand corner. You should see a 0, 0 on the top left-hand side. And let go of the mouse. And then just drag the bottom right just until you kind of see the crosshair. So you're about 1280 by 720. If you're off by 1 pixel, no big deal. So as long as you see the cross, like you see a line going up and down and a line going across, you're pretty much centered. You can let go. Boom. That was the hard part. So this is what's called a transparent image. So whatever we put in the background is going to be our background, and this sits on top of it. Now, for background, you can do whatever you want. It's really cool. If you have an image of yourself, or you have some branded images, you can upload them, or you can use something from Canva, which I'm going to show you. But before I do that, I just want to recap, like, what do these gray bars and boxes mean? So just think of this as it's a template. So the text, the title of your episode automatically gets added right here. The first gray bar represents a title. If you have a long title, it's going to spill over to 2 lines. If you have a short title, it's going to be centered across, vertically centered across the first line. So everything in in the first gray bar is your title. You don't need to worry about it. It automatically makes the title. It takes that from your podcast episode and adds it here automatically. So you don't have to put the title in your template. Second, this area down here, this is where that waveform, you see this animated waveform kicking around, which is a real waveform, based on the audio. When there's peaks and there's lows, you're going to see that waveform really move. So that goes right here. And there's a setting inside Repurpose. I'll show you guys when I upload this template. You can set the color of the waveform. So if you have, nice orange, if your colors are orange and yellow, then you can, drop in an orange waveform. Really, really cool. So just keep that in mind. You don't want to cover this area. Actually, I'll take that back. You're not really covering it. This is sitting on top. So if your background image has something here, this gray bar is going to sit on top of it, and the waveform is going to be filled in. Now, the reason why we made it gray is just so that the waveform and the text pop out. So if you wanted to overwrite that, you can actually go ahead and just drop your own little box right on top of it if you wanted to. I'm not going to get into that. It's a little more advanced, but to keep it really simple, title, waveform, that goes right in the middle, and this is your image. Now, image can be one of 2 things. It can be, by default, if most podcasters don't upload a custom, an episode specific image. Now, so by default, if you don't have a custom episode specific image uploaded to your podcast host, then it will use your iTunes cover art. But if you do have one, for example, in Libsyn, if you're using Libsyn, you have the option when you're publishing an episode to upload what's called a thumbnail. If you do use that option, Repurpose is smart enough and it'll pick it up and it'll use that image instead. So don't worry, there's always going to be an image here, whether it's episode specific or your default episode iTunes cover art. All right, and this is just a placeholder, so the image will go right here, right over this box. Cool. All right. I'm going to monitor the comments real quick, but once I said, I'm going to go through all the questions at the end just to make it flow. I see a couple questions already, but I will continue the training. I'm going to keep this short, and then we can jump right to the questions. All right, awesome. So we have this thing that sits on top. Now we need to add a background. You can upload your own background, or Canva's pretty cool. It has a lot of free options to kind of color your background. So I don't know, totally up to you what kind of style patterns you want. There's some paid options too. It only costs $1. So totally up to you. I'm just for this demo, I'm going to pick, let's say, this one. And so I'm just going to take it and drag it kind of in this white space here. What this does, it's Canva smart enough. It just goes boom. It fills the whole background with that color. So just one thing I noticed, let's say you want to change that color. I don't like the green. You can just slightly move this box out of the way, click on the background image, and then you can just change the color there. So let's say I wanted this, nice funky green or blue. And then just don't forget to go back to this overlay and just kind of stretch that out to fill the entire box again. Boom. Nice. So we got background, we got images. Now the fun part, now you can add whatever you want. You have some images, you want to have some text, probably want to add some text. Your show's name or something like that. Maybe if it's a weekly show, you want to mention that. Definitely a website, put your website on there. So Canva has some cool text formats. You can use basic ones, or I'm just going to drag this one. It looks pretty cool. Just going to drag it right here and just change the color to white, and then just make it a little bit bigger. Again, I'm just playing around with it quick. I don't want to spend too much time on this. And so you would go, Annie's podcast, whatever you want to call it. You're invited. I like that. You're invited to listen to Annie's podcast. Anyway, I'm making this stuff up. You can do whatever you really want here, but I definitely recommend putting some kind of logo. I know your logo might be in your iTunes cover art, but if you're using episode-specific images, then you might want to consider putting a logo somewhere. Maybe build it into the background image. Maybe add it in the corner here. So, boom, simple. I'm going to just add a little text here. Definitely want to put a link to your site. That's, number one rule of marketing. You want to get people to listen and connect with you, get on your email list, learn more about your podcast, all that good stuff. You want them on your site, and you want to have an email opt-in box. So anyway, just really quick, I just kind of made a little text. I'm just going to put it here. I'm not a designer, but I'm just dropping some elements here. Now, one thing that's cool, I wanted to mention, I actually included in that zip file that I sent you guys. That's at repurpose.io/template. I gave you guys the listen on Apple Podcast logo, because that's the new brand. It's no longer called Podcast or iTunes. They want to brand it as Apple Podcast. So if you go back inside the folder I sent you, there's a PNG file. It's a transparent, so it overlays nicely on top of anything. It's called Listen on Podcasts. Listen on Apple Podcast.png. I'm going to open that file. It's going to upload it to Canva, and it takes a few seconds. And then I can just drag it onto, anywhere I want, really. If I want to get funky, I can rotate it and drop it in the corner here if I wanted to. I don't know. You can get creative with it. I'm going to keep it simple for the purpose of this demo. Just spin this around, and boom. So actually, I just thought of something. Let's say if I put it here, what's going to happen? It's not going to look good because the waveform is going to be sitting over it. So if I really wanted something in the background, Canva has this nice feature where, let's say I want this kind of in the background, I can say arrange and send that to the back. So you can do that, and that way, it kind of hides behind something. I mean, it's a little more advanced. Whoops. I'm going to send it back to the front. But just play around with Canva if you haven't. It's really simple to use, and it's really powerful to use. So let me just put that back to 0, 0, and just drag this here. Let's not get too fancy. Okay, I'm done. That is it. Title's going to go here, waveform, image. So all I need to do is go ahead and just download this file. PNG is fine. You can download the PNG version. Takes a few seconds. Okay, boom, downloaded. So now, what do we do with it? You got to go in to Repurpose and edit one of your workflows, which is the gear icon. So I have this thing going, podcast to YouTube. I'm going to edit that, and here's where you do it. You set up, we have some default templates included. If you choose Upload Custom Template, first thing you'll notice is this animated waveform. You can see by default it's white, FFF, and we're going to work on making it a little more user-friendly. But when you click on this box, you can actually just select any color that you want. So if I just go right here, oh, that didn't work. Yeah, if I go right here, and let's say I don't know, make a little bit of a hint of, usually white, to be honest, looks the best. Obviously depending on your background. So I'm just going to keep it white for now, or grayish, and hit the browse button. So browse is, I'm going to go to my download folder where I got my image called, well, I called it Ice Cream Party, but that's all good. So this is, again, the template we just created. Select that and say upload. And it takes a second or so, and then you should see it over here on the bottom. So that's our template. I'm going to select it and hit save. Okay, so that was in my RSS to YouTube. I'm going to go ahead and just view the episodes here. And just for testing, it shouldn't take very long. I'm going to go ahead and just republish this one. I'm going to see what it looks like. Actually, I'm going to republish this one too. Okay, so that is really it. Simple as that. In a few minutes, we'll be able to see, make sure everything looks good. Yeah, I just wanted to keep it simple and short, and yeah, that's about it for now. I'm going to just quickly look at the questions. Share podcast. I'm assuming templates gets removed once the image is finalized. Yeah, the templates are stored kind of in our own little area, Harry. So it's like we save your template, so you can use a template anywhere you want. Like let's say you have two workflows, one going to Facebook, one going to YouTube. You can use the same template for both, or you can actually make a template specific for YouTube and a template specific for Facebook. So maybe your call to action on Facebook might, if you want to do something a little different, you can have them, maybe join a Facebook group. So you can design a template specific for each workflow. And let's say the one you're sending to Dropbox can be different as well. So we always keep all your templates. You can reuse them for other workflows, or you can use the same ones or use different ones for other workflows. All right, awesome. Just real quick, just refresh the page. It's already done. So there we are. We have our waveform. We have our title automatically added, and we have the cover art that was part of my podcast feed. So really is that simple. And I recommend you do this because, we have about 6 templates out there, and, after a while, more and more people use it. It's not going to stand out. First of all, those templates are not branded for your logo, your brand. So definitely take advantage of this. Definitely include include a, mention of your website. So someone who's watching can just easily go to your website. And, remember I mentioned that you can listen on Apple Podcast. Play around with it. And, if you have a template, it doesn't look good, you can always delete the video and upload a new template and use that as well. So that's all I have. And I'm just going to open up for a quick Q&A. I'm going to review the comments. I'm going to stop this video real quick. Let's review the comments and see if anybody's got any specific questions. I'm just going to pop my face back on here. And just, there we go. Awesome. Okay. So yeah, I'm just going to review the comments real quick. Actually, it's my first time doing a real live Facebook Live with, I'm using Ecamm Live, and actually I can see all the comments right here. Very cool, very cool. Okay, so Andreas is in the house. Awesome. Good to see you, my friend. And so Harry's asking, once you put the overlay on the Canva image, do I need to keep it there? Yes, you need to keep it, because that's actually a great question. The overlay is, if you want, keep it simple. Yes, the short answer is yes. Leave it on there, because those are the gray bars that we are using. Like those gray bars that you see in the template stay in the final product here. So that when we put the white text over it, then you can actually, and the white waveform, it actually pops out. Now, let's say you don't want them. You don't want those gray bars. For, let's say you have a nice black dark background, you want the text to go directly on it. Definitely, you can remove the overlay if you wanted to. So like, for example, if I go ahead, just duplicate this, I can just remove the overlay, and the text will go right here, the waveform will go right here, and the image will go right here. So you don't need to have it. I included it just to kind of give you where things will go, but I also included it because if you just put text on a background, it might not pop as nicely. But experiment with it. See what works, what doesn't work for you. And I just realized that I was showing my screen and you guys weren't seeing it. So let me do that again. So what I was saying is I just went ahead and duplicated this one and just removed the overlay. And if I use this template, the text will still go here where it belongs. The waveform will still go here, and the image will still go here. So you don't need it, but it definitely helps. It makes those pop out, and it also helps you design your background. So don't put something in this area because it's going to be covered by the image, for example. Very cool. Let's see if any more questions. All right, yes. We do have another question. When you add the background, do you need to use the send it to back? That's a great question. You don't need to. I just use that. Actually, Canva is kind of funny. Sometimes it's kind of hit and miss. So if you're using Canva, it's sometimes it's smart enough. It doesn't always work, but I notice that if you just drag it and you just let it pause for a second right over the background, it will just automatically use whatever it is that you use as a background. So I think basically what it's doing is making it go into the back for you automatically. So let me just do that again. If I pick one of these, if I want to replace my background with something else, I just kind of hold it for a second and let go. It replaces the background for me. So basically the way you see it now is how it's going to appear. So think of this, and then the repurpose was going to just put the text right over it, put the waveform right over it, and drop the square image right over here. So for example, like let's say I had this here. If I had this right here, it's going to get overwritten. Like you're not going to see my text. If I have my text right here for whatever reason, the image is going to sit on top of it. You're not going to see it. So use them as benchmarks to where to place the text and where to place logos, etc., so you don't get covered. All right, awesome. Well, let me ask you guys a question. Who's using custom templates so far? I know a few people are. I'm not sure if anyone here's been using the custom templates. But if you're not using them yet, hopefully this video helps you realize it's not that scary. You don't need to be a designer. It's important to put your brand, right? It's important to put your brand on top of your videos. And if you make a mistake, it doesn't look good, it's no problem. You can just remove that video from YouTube and upload another one. So, don't worry. And then you can also have it go to, if you're scared, let's say you have a big audience on YouTube, you don't want to put a video and then remove it. Repurpose has the option to let you go and send them on as private videos or unlisted videos. So, experiment with that. Let it go on YouTube unlisted, let it go as private, check it out. And then if you like it, then, change the settings back so that all episodes go to, public mode. So, yeah, no need to worry. We're all learning, all experimenting. If you do have a designer, it's even awesome. We have, as part of the package, I included some kind of dimensions and placement of where everything should go. So, designers usually have a lot more complicated tools, editing software. So you can definitely use, give them the zip file and they'll figure it out. It has all the information, all the overlays, and they can design something for you. Or if you don't have a designer, maybe try Fiverr, fiverr.com. But I recommend a Canva. I mean, you can, in a few minutes, as we saw here, you can have your, a little sample made up. And Canva's awesome because it makes things look cool without you having to mess around with too many fonts. It has a lot of, cool text styles and backgrounds that you can just drop right in. All right. Yes, on the list to do. The good thing is you got to do it once and that's it. You don't have to make a template for every single episode. You're doing it once, and it's a template that we use for all episodes. So it's a good use of your time. A few minutes, 30 minutes, you can have a template, and you're good to go. Awesome. Well, this is the first of many trainings I'm going to do in the group, and also I'm going to push it out to YouTube as well, thanks to Repurpose. And so I'm looking forward to kind of seeing more people use templates. And we feature a couple people on the website who are using templates. And if you have something that you're proud of, just shoot me a link, shoot me an email. I'll be happy to add it to the website as well. Just kind of showing some customer samples on the repurpose.io website. Very cool. So if any more questions, please leave them in the comments. I'm happy to answer them. It doesn't have to be about templates. If you have any kind of general, if you've been wondering about something about Repurpose or curious if you can do this or that, I'm going to kind of open it up for a few minutes to answer kind of general questions, and we'll call it a day. Then we'll meet again, say in 2 weeks. And if this becomes, if this picks up and there's a lot of good stuff, good comments, good feedback, I'm happy to do it more often. But I think this topic, is a good topic to start with, because a lot of podcasters here, after a while, all the episodes start looking the same in terms of all the users are starting to have using the same templates. So I want to make sure people create their own. Interesting to see how Repurpose helped with getting additional. Sorry, this comment is cut off. Oh, people to view. Yeah, that'll be an interesting topic. I'm gonna kind of pick on a few people, not pick, but choose a few people and kind of see what kind of traction they're getting on YouTube, on Facebook, and kind of see how that's going. I know I've noticed that EO Fire has actually been pushing a lot of videos on Facebook, and I'm going to talk with John next week to get him to start using Repurpose to kind of automate that. They're kind of doing it manually right now. So when I saw that, I reached out to him like, hey, let's automate this. So we'll actually have a call next week. So maybe we'll get to see some EO Fire templates out. And I know EO Fire is not your typical example, but they do get a lot of views on Facebook. YouTube, I'm not sure. So I can see as a viewer how many times the video has been watched. So it's interesting. It's interesting to get your content out there. And YouTube gives you metrics, and Facebook gives you metrics. I believe the Facebook metrics are better as a page. So just if you're uploading videos on your personal profile, that's great. I think you can see how many views. But I think as a page, you can go in to your page manager and you can see more details. I believe. I got to play around with that more. So keep that in mind. If you have a fan page, I recommend using that to upload your videos. And this is probably a whole separate topic, but the cool thing about using a page is that Repurpose is smart. Like, let's say you're uploading 50 episodes. Usually when you upload an episode, a video, then you're going to get a notification. Everybody who's watching your page is going to get a notification. We turned that off. We said, you know what, especially when you're uploading to a page a whole bunch of videos, you don't want like anybody on your fan page to get like 50 notifications. Hey, there's 50 new videos. It's kind of annoying. So anything that's older than a day, let's say upload an episode 2 days or 5 days or a week old, we turn off the notifications. So we have that control. So your viewers won't get notified. Every time if you do a batch upload of 100 episodes, they're not going to get annoyed. So that's only on a page. So definitely want to keep that in mind. If you have a page, probably the best place to do it is through your page, because Repurpose has more control. Facebook gives us more control so that we don't annoy your Facebook followers. But on new episodes, for example, tomorrow's episode goes live, then they'll get notified of that one on their feed. So cool. All right. Awesome, guys. Well, thank you very much for popping in and for all the great questions. And if you're watching the replay, just drop some more comments below. And if you have any questions, I'll answer them afterwards as well. And maybe we'll make them as separate topics as well. But I like the idea of kind of getting a few people and just almost like a mini case study to see, it's been a few months now, how much traction you're getting on YouTube versus Facebook. And, just kind of get some data that way. Awesome, guys. Well, thank you so much. This is fun, and we're about to hit the 30-minute mark. So I think I'm gonna call it a show. You guys are welcome. Thank you guys for showing up and for all the awesome questions. And I'll talk to you guys in 2 weeks.